A DC artist recently caused quite a splash after he projected the Emoluments Clause onto the Trump Hotel in Washington, D.C. Robin Bell and a couple of his friends pulled up in front of the Trump Hotel in a van. They set up a projector and beamed the entire text to the Emoluments Clause of the US Constitution, which of course bars this president from receiving gifts or payments from foreign governments or heads of state, onto the Old Post Office Pavilion's façade, as well as text reading, "Pay Trump bribes here," and "Emoluments welcome." So I didn't know that this is something that he actually regularly does, and since it doesn't cause any type of permanent damage to anything, it's not technically illegal. So apparently the projection was left up for about 15 minutes before authorities were able to take it down. But I love this because this is, first of all, I see this as a form of political art, and I love political art, especially when you can find loopholes and make it legal. And it says something, and it says something in a very strong way. So a lot of people took photos of it, took video of it. Experts agree Trump is a pig was a previous projection that Robin Bell had done. This was, I believe, right after he got elected. But nonetheless, it's a clever tactic that he uses, and it gets people talking, so it's great.
So the earlier one about how experts agree Trump is a pig was in late November after the election, and it's actually a throwback reference to Ed Meese, and that's what people had done in the 1980s DC punk scene. So it was an homage to those old artists, and seems to fit Trump pretty well as well.
Yeah.
I like the more clever approach. I mean, look, the homage is clever as well, but of not only putting the Emoluments Clause, but the exact arrow of "Pay Trump bribes here."
Right. Yeah.
And that it's a very, very real issue. Citizens for Responsibility and Ethics in Washington have already gone to court saying he violated the constitutional clause for accepting payments from foreign governments. Every time they check into his hotel, that is a payment to Donald Trump. And foreign government officials have said repeatedly in the press and in public, yeah, of course we stay at Trump Hotel because we want to make sure that the American president is happy. In fact, there's been cases where they admitted, well, we had our conference booked for another hotel, but we switched it and moved to the Trump Hotel to make sure that Trump was on our side. That's a foreign government basically admitting in public that they're, in a sense, bribing Donald Trump so that they can get favors from our government.
Republicans' inability to apply the same criticism that they used against Hillary Clinton on Donald Trump or themselves drives me absolutely crazy. Look, the criticism that Hillary Clinton got during the election, not all of it, but a lot of it, was completely justified in my opinion, right? But why is it that Donald Trump gets to do, I mean, more than what Hillary Clinton did, okay? Times 100, and leaking classified information to Russia, violating the Emoluments Clause of the US Constitution. I thought Republicans were pro-Constitution. I thought they were constitutionalists. I thought they wanted to protect the Constitution. They don't want to protect the Constitution. They want to protect their political party regardless of how ill-behaved they are. And in this case, you have our president taking advantage of his position to profit. That's all he wanted. That's all he wanted. He wanted to win and he wanted to profit. And that's all he's using that position for.
So when Hillary Clinton took money from foreign governments and in the form of donations to her foundation, we pointed that out over and over again on the Young Turks and said, look, she might one day be president. The Saudis and all the other governments that gave money to the Clinton Foundation didn't do it because all of a sudden they cared about healthcare, right? They didn't do it because all of a sudden they decided that charity is an awesome thing, and if they did, they might have wanted to give to many other charities. No, it was obviously to influence the Clintons. Now, if you were justifiably angry about that, when these same governments don't give to a foundation or a charity to help Trump, they just put it in Donald Trump's pocket. Shouldn't you be at least as concerned about that? And number one, of course you should be more concerned because it's just flat out bribery. He takes the money and puts it in his pocket. It doesn't go to any charity. Second of all, he's the president. Hillary Clinton could have become president. That's why we were so concerned about it. He is currently the president and taking this money from foreign governments. So let alone all the trademarks that were granted to him in China, let alone all the towers that have now been approved to be built in foreign countries like Turkey and Argentina and all the other ways that he has enriched himself, which is a direct violation of the Constitution. The Constitution doesn't say, hey, if you take money for your charity, if you're running for president, that's a problem. Maybe you should, but it doesn't say it. It says if you're the president and you're not serving the American people, instead you're serving your own interests by taking money from foreign governments, that is an unconstitutional and impeachable offense. Young Turks membership creates independent media.
Believe me.
No ads.
Believe me.
All the shows.
Believe me.
On demand.
Believe me.
Support independent media.
Believe me.
It's awesome, tremendous. You'll love it.
Believe me.
And by the end, you'll be thinking,
I'm like a smart person.
tytnetwork.com/join.